I just got to get up there when they teach the diplomas, that's all.
Muted.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for the Baltimore County Department of Corrections Entry-Level Training Academy Class 2001. My name is Marcia Maloff, and I'm the training manager. Please stand and welcome our graduates. Please turn your attention to the side of the room. Honor Guard, present colors.
Honor Guard, forward, march. Go left, go left, go left, right. March,
please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On guard. Order, colors. Right face. Forward, march. Your left, your left, your left, right. Your left, your left, your left, right. Column left, march. March, march. Hold. Left face. Post colors. Left face. Forward march. Column right march. Your left, your left, your left, right. Your left, more time, march. Forward. Forward.
Thank you, Honor Guard. You all may be seated. Distinguished guests, co-workers, graduates, and their family and friends, it is a pleasure to have you with us today to celebrate the achievements of the Training Academy Class 2001. I'd like to introduce you to our dignitaries on the stage. To my right is Gail Watts, Director. Then we have Renard Brooks, Deputy Director. Major Robert Alford, Security Chief. In the back row we have Hillary Siacour Sirleaf, Management Assistant, and Tom Martin, Assistant Director of Correctional Training for the Maryland Police and Correctional Training Commissions. And in the audience we have Captain Chittick and Captain Patillo and some other folks from the institution. Thank you for joining us. I now call on Ms. Watts for her opening remarks.
Before you see 16 individuals prepared to graduate from the Baltimore County Department of Corrections Training Academy. But before I officially welcome you to this unique historical graduation ceremony, I need to share something with you. These 16 individuals competed with hundreds of applicants. They had to complete a very, very lengthy personal information packet that consisted of questions about themselves, their family, and friends. They were then questioned about the information in their personal packets. They had background investigators digging into their lives. They were grilled by a psych doctor, challenged with a polygraph test, and then physically examined from head to toe. But they stayed in the race. Then when they thought they had made it to the finish line, they were interviewed yet again, but this time by the Baltimore County Department of Corrections personnel manager, but they stayed in the race. After they made it through their final interview, they received a letter welcoming them to the Baltimore County Department of Corrections. They received uniforms, a prox card allowing them to enter the building, and a parking pass. So they thought they had made it and were official. But they were then met by the training manager, Ms. Marsha Maloff, who advised them that they were not yet certified correctional officers until they successfully completed a 7-week training academy, but they stayed in the race. And because of their determination, commitment, and perseverance, we are assembled here today because of them. I welcome you all to the Baltimore County Department of Corrections Class 2001 Entrance Level Academy Graduation Ceremony to witness and celebrate these 16 unwavering individuals who will become certified correctional professionals because they finished the race. I am proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. I thank those of you assembled here and those who are watching virtually as we witness their correctional journey officially begin. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our guest speaker at this time. On December 2nd, 2019, Renard Brooks joined the Baltimore County Department of Corrections as our Deputy Director. Prior to joining the BCDC team, Mr. Brooks spent over 40 years in state and local government positions, working with the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services and the Baltimore City Mayor's Office of Human Resources. He has worked in many areas of the criminal justice system, including personnel, food service, medical, mental health, substance abuse, offender reentry, and transition standards and criminal justice information systems. Mr. Brooks earned his BS degree from Morgan State University and a Master's of Administrative Science degree from Johns Hopkins University. Please welcome Deputy Director Brooks.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to stand before you and be a guest speaker at your graduation. It's been a while since I spoke at an academy graduation, so I'm definitely pleased to be here this afternoon. And since we are virtual, I want to welcome your family and friends who are looking at us via technology, as well as welcome the guests here and especially you, our graduates. Corrections as a profession. You've chosen this as a profession. Some of you, I'm hoping, will not look at it as just a job, because it is a profession. It's a profession where you will be able to help people who are not at a good point in their life because of whatever mistake they may have made or been accused of making. They're incarcerated. So it's a unique position because I always say it's easy to lock somebody up, but it's harder to keep them locked up until it's time for them to go to court and be adjudicated for what they're accused of doing. I want you to be aware that sometimes we can have conscious and unconscious biases as we work in this particular profession, especially when it comes to cultural, because we are here as a part of our mission to provide safe and secure confinement and not judge them for whatever reason they are here, because they will be judged in a court of law. But we're here to provide services to them. So, as you've heard the director speak, she has over 30 years of experience and came from where you are as a correctional officer to be the director of this department. You've heard about my vast experience within corrections. So this is your entry level, but it's your choice if you decide to stay as correctional officers or move in other career paths that will benefit you and benefit this occupation and profession. Working in corrections during a pandemic, none of us ever really thought that this type of atmosphere would transpire, where we would have to wear face masks and be cognizant of who we come in contact with. The reason that you're spread out the way you are in here right now is because of social distancing and wanting to keep you safe, and me at least 6 feet or more away from you to be able to speak to you without this mask on. But it's also important to remember and realize that as a department, Baltimore County to this day has done better, in my opinion, than the entire state when it comes to correctional facilities who have been able to control and maintain and minimize the spread of the COVID-19 virus to our inmate population, as well as our uniform and civilian staff. And we intend to do what we have to do to keep it that way, with the grace of God, of course. Because I say to everybody, it's important that we not only wear these masks, but we cover from nose to chin, to keep the virus from possibly infecting us. It's important that we encourage the inmate population to do the same. And it's also important to realize that if the virus enters this facility, it will come in through one of us. It will come in through a staff member who's going and coming, because we know the population has been here for a while and they're not infected. So not only protecting the inmate population, yourselves, but your family and friends, we're always encouraged to minimize who you were in contact with while you're away from here, avoid large gatherings, and try to stay within a safe circle of your immediate family. You went through a lot of courses, or should I say modules, within the training academy itself. And I'm only going to touch on a couple of them because we could talk all day about what it is that you've been exposed to as a part of your training. But I want to touch on a few that I think are very important for you to remember. Interpersonal communication skills. Your communication skills will be very important when it comes to interacting with the 700 plus inmates and as well as staff that we have in this facility. Because you're dealing with a clientele, number one, is not happy and does not want to be here. Number two, you're dealing with individuals who are not only disgruntled, but we have to remember that they have certain issues going on. I'm going to touch on that a little bit in a minute. So they're not going to be so nice to you. They're not going to say nice things to you. They're probably going to call you out of your name. And it can bother you because we're all human. But you have to remember that you know what your mother named you. It won't be any of the derogatory things that they may say to you or call you. So you have to let that just roll off. Now, am I going to stand here and say that in my 40 plus years, I never let somebody push my button? I'm not going to say that because I'm human too. But I did cognizantly keep in mind that every action causes a reaction. So how you treat them will be how they treat you in return. So the respect you want is the respect that you have to give. So expect the respect that you give and you should get it back. Corrections as a profession can be very stressful. Let's face it. Because we're dealing with individuals who are incarcerated. So I want you to be cognizant of the fact that you're going to look at your stress and not take that stress, or at least try not to take that stress out of the door with you when you leave. Because there's all kinds of activities and processes that we have to go through interacting with the individuals that are here. And it's important that you not take on that stress and carry it from a personal perspective and let it affect you and your family when you go back home. So always be mindful of stress management. I had the opportunity, before 1989 when I started the Women's Prison in Jessup, I worked for psychiatric hospitals, Spring Grove, Rosewood, Springfield. Whether you realize it or not, the jails are now the new mental health hospitals. Because a lot of those patients were put in the community and they've ended up here in not only this detention center, but the detention center and jails across the state. And they're now a part of our population that we have to deal with. So I want you to keep that in mind as you interact with them, because when you understand why somebody is acting the way that they're acting, you can better prepare yourself on how you're going to react to them. We all know that some are worse than others. Some are even on a mental health unit. Some are just taking psychotropic medications for whatever their diagnosis is from a mental perspective. But I want you to be aware and cognizant that those we're dealing with do have issues and challenges, and we have to consider that and not react to their misbehavior, inappropriate behavior. I also want you to be cognizant of the fact that on top of mental health issues, a lot of the people that we have here have substance abuse issues. A lot of them are known as what's co-occurring issues. They medicate themselves with illegal drugs because they have mental health issues. So, excuse me, you should by now be aware that there's a program called Medicaid-Assisted Treatment here in the facility, and those who are addicted to opioids in particular, and other forms of controlled dangerous substances, are able to get medical help and treatment while they're here to not only help their addiction while they're here, but to transition them out into the community and back to a better life than what they had, as long as they can stay clean and sober. And they will sometimes slip up. That's a given fact. But again, we're not here to judge them, we're here to help them. We are in the process of developing a reentry advisory council for Baltimore County. And your employment here will end up being a vital role in that as we expand this out, because whether it's substance abuse issues, mental health issues, juveniles, females, mental health, somatic health, education, job training, child support, you name it. There's all kinds of services that if we connect people to those services before they leave, preferably, and they do better while they're out, then they stand less of a chance of coming back. Because it's easy as we look at how people transition in and out of this jail. Some people do lifelong installment plan because of their addictions, their mental illness, and what's going on in their personal lives. So we're going to be talking more about that in the future and how you will be a part of that as well. I could go on and on, but I want to wish you the best of luck in your career. And I will say this before I close, and I've said this to the new employees as they've come up and we greet them in the conference room. We have to face the fact that this profession is not for everybody. And some of you sitting in these chairs right now may come to the conclusion that this is really not for me, and you decide that this is not the career path you want to take. And that's okay if you decide that. But if you decide to stay, which we hope that you do, I want this to be the best career path that you've ever chosen, because there is opportunity for advancement and growth here. And you can always say to yourself this: I'll never be unemployed, because there will always be a job in corrections. I thank you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Academy Class 2001 was supposed to have started the Academy in March. However, due to coronavirus, it was postponed. So it was not until August 18th, 2020 that this group of people got together for the first time. They were each given a student manual that was 3 inches thick, and were told that they would were required to master all of the material within 32 days. What seemed like such a daunting task has now been accomplished. As with all academies, there were many up days and some down days. As is the tradition, this class has selected one of their own to speak about their experiences. I would like to introduce to you Officer Shawnese Gardner, the class spokesperson.
Good afternoon, staff, family, and friends, and graduating class of 2001. I am honored and grateful to have been chosen to speak on behalf of the graduation class of 2001. It is an honor to express to all regarding the experiences that we attributed to having a successful career in corrections. It is time to reflect on who we are and whom we have become within 7 weeks. Our first thank you would be to our dedicated instructors and leaders for helping, guiding, and grooming us to reach this special day. Sergeants Leak, Tomball, Brisbane, Figaro, Lovelace, Officer Colbert, Miss Bay, and Miss Maloff, and all the BC staff members who spoke to the 2001 graduating class during the Academy experience. To my class of 2001, this is the first class to graduate during COVID-19 pandemic. It was a little difficult, but nevertheless, we made it. COVID-19 did not stop us. We fought completely to the end with masks, gloves, and continuously washing our hands. Sorry, COVID-19, the class of 2001 was an unbreakable bond you could not touch. We survived. It was not easy, but nothing too impossible. We worked hard, diligently together, and pushed each other continuously and daily. All the bonding, the asking just a simple, "Are you okay?" meant everything. We lifted each other and worked together, demonstrating nothing less than unity and teamwork. We complained, we moaned, and we groaned, but most of all, we completed and stayed committed to our goal. We could not have achieved any of this without teamwork and excellent leadership, our instructors. So we may now take what we were taught and put it into play. Remember to do what is right and always keep in the forefront of your mind, practice policy and procedures will lead you to a successful retirement one day. We had some laughs here and there until push-ups and sit-ups came into play. However, one thing we all learned is that pain is just weakness leaving the body, which I know the graduating class can attest to this. Nevertheless, we work toward the mission at hand. I could not be more proud to be a part of the individuals you are sitting in front of. You have made that class 2001 count. In closing, to my classmates, besides all the things we have done, we all made it in one piece. We have been trained professionally, and now we are ready. Hard work, perseverance paid off. Always try to stay positive in every situation and believe in yourself, as we have now created memories that shall keep us grounded as we go into the facility and start a new positive journey. Last but not least, congratulations and best to all my family in blue. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Gardner. I also want to say that I've been here 15 years, and this is one of the best, if not the best, academy class that we have had. Everything that Officer Gardner talked about, the teamwork, the cooperation, the maturity, the professionalism was all evident. So these folks have a brilliant future, and we really thank them for their efforts. As I stated earlier, this class was given a huge student manual to master. That manual contained a total of 109 training objectives. They showed their mastery of these objectives by taking 11 tests that contained 913 questions. They were required to pass each test with a score of 75% or better. In addition, each student was required to successfully complete 31 practical exercises. Although all of our students worked very hard to master the objectives, we'd like to give special acknowledgement to those students that truly excelled during the academy. Our highest level of achievement is the Distinguished Graduate. Distinguished graduates achieved an average of 95% or better on their tests, passed all the objectives on the first try, and had perfect attendance. Distinguished graduates will receive a gold seal on their diplomas, a separate Distinguished Graduate Certificate, and a blue ribbon that can be worn on their uniforms that will identify them as a Distinguished Graduate. This class had 4 Distinguished Graduates. Please stand as I call your name. James Christie. Jamila Lazarus. Jessica Mahaffey. And Noel Yango Biambalo. Thank you. You may be seated. Our next level of achievement is that of the honor graduate. These students achieved an average of 95% or better on their tests, took no more than 3 objective retests, and had perfect attendance. These students will receive an honor certificate along with their diploma. This class had 7 honor graduates. Please stand as I call your name. Adetutu Ajibade, Philip Ando, Andrew Ayasire, Amanda Dinabrega, Shawnice Gardner, Amanda Levine, and Emmanuel Ricks. You may be seated. Before we present the diplomas, I wanted to take a few minutes to thank some of the people whose efforts have gone into making this academy and today's graduation a success. I would like to thank the training staff for their countless hours of work, Lorraine Bay, our full-time instructor, curriculum developer, and class advisor, Sergeant Martin Leak, our full-time instructor and class advisor, and Bernice Schmidt, our office assistant. I would also like to thank all of our other Academy instructors and the Honor Guard. Their names are listed in the program along with some others. I also want to thank Vernice Holmes, OIT, and her staff for assistance in arranging to have this ceremony live streamed. And I'd also like to thank Sergeant Dace, Officer Tennessee, and Alex Scheck for decorating the stage this morning. Lastly, I would like to thank the administration, Ms. Watts, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Alford, or Major Alford, I'm sorry, Mr. Sirleaf, and the captains for all your support and input. Now it's time to present the diplomas. So I'd like to ask our dignitaries to stand for this. Thank you. Just 1 minute. Front row, please stand.
Right, face.
Adatutu Ajibade. Philip Ando. Andrew Iasiri. James Christie. Jessica Cullen.
Left, right.
First row, please be seated. Second row, please stand.
Right, face.
Amanda Dinabrega. Jada Fliggins. Shawnice Gardner. Henry Iwala. Jamila Lazarus. Second row, please be seated. Third row, please stand.
Right face.
Amanda Levine. Jessica Mahaffey. Emmanuel Ricks. Fallon Scott. Muriel Talley. Noel Yangu Biambalo.
Left face.
Third row, please be seated. Now I'd like to call on Major Robert Alford to administer the correctional professional oath of office. Students, please rise.
All right, please raise your right hands. Repeat after me. I state your full name individually.
I, Philamanda. I, Andrew Ayusu. I, James Chris. I, Jessica Cullen. I, Edith Herrera. I, Gator Clinton. I, Shawnee's Gardner. I, Patrick Zuella. I, Jamila Lazarus. I, Amanda Levine. I, Jessica Mahaffey. I, Emmanuel Ricks. I, Fallon Scott. I, Muriel Talley. I, Noel Yangu Biambalo.
Do solemnly swear and or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Maryland. I further swear and or affirm that I will adhere to the standards of conduct of the Baltimore County Department of Corrections. I shall, to the best of my ability, discharge all duties and responsibilities required of me as a correctional professional. executing the orders of superior officers without prejudice or malice. If so, answer, I do. You can put your hands down.
Thank you. Now, everyone may be seated. So we have a special recorded message from the County Executive, John Olszewski Jr., that I would like to play at this time.
Good evening, everyone. It is great to be with you. We're here to celebrate the 16 people who are graduating from the Academy and thank them for the dedication they've shown in choosing to serve our county. It takes someone with commitment and compassion to pursue this career. You will be tasked with keeping our community safe and helping our inmates turn their lives around. I commend you for giving back to your community in this way, but I also know the work you do is not easy. And in the midst of a public health crisis and a reckoning with systemic racism, this work can be even more challenging, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I want you to know that we're here for you as partners, and I want to thank you for your commitment. We owe you our gratitude and admiration. As the brother of a law enforcement officer, I know this can be challenging for families too. So thank you to the partners, the parents, the children, and the other loved ones here. Your continued support will be very important as these graduates take on their new roles. I also want to thank Director Gail Watts for her continued leadership and recognize her for 30 outstanding years of service in the Department of Corrections. I'm proud of you, Director Watts, and I'm grateful to have you on our team. And I'm confident that our graduates will be able to enjoy the incredible career that she has here in Baltimore County. I want you to know that you will always have the support of our administration. The work you do will not go unnoticed or unappreciated. We're proud to welcome you to our team, and we're thankful for your service. Thank you, and congratulations again.
That was really exceptional. So, in closing, I would like to say to the graduates, you can have a wonderful career in corrections. This academy experience is just the beginning. Use the information you learned in the academy and build on it. Don't forget to follow policies and procedures. Align yourself with staff that have positive attitudes and strive for excellence. Seek out opportunities to grow in skills and knowledge. Be ready and willing to face the challenges ahead of you and prepare yourself to take over the leadership roles that will open up to you in the future. Good luck, and I hope you each have a long and productive career with the Baltimore County Department of Corrections. Academy students, please rise. It is with pleasure that I present to you the Baltimore County Department of Corrections Entrance Level Training Academy graduating class 2001. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and Academy class, you are dismissed. You did fine. You did great. You did good. You did real good. Excellent. Thank you.